Smackdown was already tense before it happened. The show rolled on as usual until the cameras suddenly cut backstage. Cody Rhodes was walking through the hallway, towel over his shoulder, focused, calm, clearly preparing for his segment later in the night. He stopped when he heard heavy footsteps echoing behind him. The sound alone changed the mood. Cody turned. Jacob Fatu stepped into frame. No music, no warning, just presence. The arena reacted instantly as the crowd realized who it was. Jacob stood there, chest rising, eyes locked on Cody like he'd been waiting for this moment all night. Cody didn't back up. He took a step forward. Jacob spoke first. His voice was low, controlled, but burning with intensity. He said Cody has been running his mouth for weeks, acting like he's untouchable. Jacob said Cody forgot something important. This isn't Raw. This is Smackdown. Cody smirked. He said wherever Jacob goes, chaos follows. Cody said he didn't come to Smackdown to hide. He came because he knew sooner or later, Jacob would show up. Jacob nodded slowly. He said Cody thinks this is about ego. Jacob said this is about respect. Jacob said Cody embarrassed him backstage, put his hands on him, and walked away like it didn't matter. Jacob said where he comes from, that doesn't get ignored. Cody said respect isn't demanded. It's earned. The tension was unbearable now. Officials hovered just out of frame, unsure whether to step in. Jacob moved closer, closing the space between them until they were face to face. Jacob said Cody talks like a leader. But leaders don't jump people from behind. Cody fired back that monsters don't get sympathy. Cody said Jacob has been unleashed without control, and somebody had to stand up. Jacob laughed. A cold laugh. He said Cody doesn't understand what he just stepped into. Jacob said Roman Reigns gave him freedom, and freedom means there are no rules left to protect Cody. Cody's expression hardened. He said if Roman wants to use Jacob as his weapon, then Cody will break the weapon. That was enough. Jacob exploded forward, shoving Cody into a stack of production crates. The crowd erupted as officials rushed in, but Jacob fought through them, throwing Cody into the wall, raining down heavy shots. Cody fought back, landing fists, refusing to go down. The two men brawled through the hallway, chaos spilling everywhere. Security finally managed to separate them, dragging Jacob back while Cody leaned against the wall, chest heaving. Jacob shouted that this isn't over. Cody wiped blood from his lip and shouted back that he's not going anywhere. Smackdown cut to commercial with both men still yelling at each other, the message crystal clear. Jacob Fatu didn't just confront Cody Rhodes. He declared war, and Smackdown had just become the battleground. The chaos didn't stop at the commercial break. When Smackdown returned, the camera cut right back to the same hallway. Cody Rhodes was still there, pacing, jaw clenched, blood wiped away but fury still written all over his face. Officials begged him to head to the trainer's room. Cody refused. He said Jacob Fatu doesn't get the last word. Before anyone could react, Jacob broke free from security and stormed back into frame. The crowd erupted again as Jacob charged, tackling Cody into the barricade. The sound of the impact echoed through the arena. This time, Jacob didn't rush. He dragged Cody up slowly, staring him in the eyes. Jacob said Cody keeps talking about breaking weapons. Jacob said weapons don't break. They destroy. Jacob lifted Cody and slammed him onto a road case, the metal rattling violently. Cody screamed but fired back with elbows, breaking free just long enough to shove Jacob into a steel door. Smackdown descended into absolute chaos. Referees, security, even producers flooded the area. Jacob shrugged them off like nothing, lunging for Cody again. This time, Cody caught him with a sudden strike to the jaw, sending Jacob staggering back. The crowd roared. Cody didn't stop. He drove Jacob into the wall and shouted that he's not afraid of him. Cody said Roman Reigns doesn't scare him either. That name changed everything. Jacob snapped. He headbutted Cody, dropping him instantly. Jacob stood over him, breathing heavy, rage boiling over. He said Roman warned him about Cody. He said Cody thinks he's untouchable. Jacob said he's about to learn. Adam Pearce rushed into frame, shouting that this ends now. He said Smackdown can't continue like this. He told security to separate them immediately. As Jacob was dragged away, he kept his eyes locked on Cody. Jacob said next time, there will be no walls, no officials, no excuses. Cody slowly pulled himself up using the barricade. He grabbed a microphone someone had dropped during the chaos. The crowd leaned in. Cody said Jacob wants a fight. Cody said fine. Cody said put him in the ring. The arena exploded. Adam Pearce stopped on the stage and turned back. He said if both men want to tear each other apart, they'll do it the right way. Next week, 1-on-1, Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes. No disqualifications. The crowd lost it. Jacob smiled for the first time all night as he was pulled through the curtain. Cody stood tall despite the pain, staring straight ahead. Smackdown faded out with one truth clear. This confrontation wasn't over. It was only getting started. The announcement alone sent shockwaves through the arena. No disqualifications. 1 week. Jacob Fatu vs Cody Rhodes. The rest of Smackdown felt different after that. Heavier. Like everyone knew what was coming and couldn't stop it. Commentary kept circling back to the same question: could Cody Rhodes survive a man like Jacob Fatu when there were no rules left to save him? Later that night, exclusive footage aired of Jacob Fatu backstage after being pulled away. He was breathing hard, pacing like a caged animal. Security kept their distance now. Nobody wanted to be the next one in his way. Jacob said Cody made a mistake calling him out. He said Cody thinks heart beats violence. Jacob said heart breaks first. He said next week, he won't stop until Cody understands exactly who he's dealing with. Across the building, Cody was in the trainer's room, ribs taped again, shoulder iced. The doctor told him flat out that this was reckless. Cody listened quietly, then stood up anyway. Cody said he's spent his entire career fighting men who were bigger, stronger, and more dangerous. Cody said Jacob Fatu is a monster, no doubt about it, but monsters bleed too. The following week, Smackdown opened with a video package. Jacob Fatu tearing through opponents. Cody Rhodes refusing to stay down. Two men on a collision course. When Cody's music hit, the crowd erupted. He walked out slower than usual, bruised but determined, eyes locked on the ring. He didn't pose. He didn't play to the crowd. He climbed through the ropes and stood in the center, waiting. Jacob Fatu didn't wait for his music. He came through the crowd. The bell barely rang before Jacob charged, blasting Cody with a running shoulder tackle that flipped him inside out. The match exploded instantly. Jacob rained down fists, driving Cody into the mat, shouting that this is what Cody asked for. Cody rolled away just in time, grabbing a steel chair from ringside. Jacob laughed and dared him to swing. Cody did. The chair cracked across Jacob's back. Jacob didn't go down. Cody hit him again, and again. Jacob staggered, but then roared and charged straight through the shots, tackling Cody into the corner. The chair went flying. Jacob slammed Cody's shoulder first into the ring post, then dragged him back into the ring and dropped him with a brutal slam. The crowd was losing their minds. Jacob rolled out and grabbed the steel steps. He lifted them like they weighed nothing and threw them into the ring. Cody barely rolled out of the way as the steps crashed down. Jacob followed him to the floor, driving Cody into the barricade. He shouted that Roman was right about him. He said Cody doesn't know when to stop. Cody fired back with a sudden uppercut, then another, then a disaster kick that sent Jacob stumbling into the announce table. Cody climbed onto the table, adrenaline surging, and leapt. Jacob caught him. Jacob slammed Cody through the announce table. The sound echoed through the arena. "This is over," Jacob said. But it wasn't. Cody somehow pulled himself up, blood trickling down his forehead now. He grabbed a kendo stick and unloaded on Jacob's legs, taking the big man down to one knee. Cody screamed as he swung, every shot fueled by pain and defiance. Jacob fell back into the ring. Cody followed. He went for Crossroads. Jacob powered out. Headbutt. Cody collapsed. Jacob lined up in the corner, eyes wild, ready to finish it. He charged. Cody moved. Jacob smashed into the turnbuckle. Cody hit Crossroads. Once. Twice. The crowd exploded. Cody collapsed on top of him. 1, 2. Jacob kicked out. The entire arena gasped. Cody sat there in disbelief, hands on his head. He dragged himself back up, refusing to accept it. He pulled Jacob to his feet for one more Crossroads. Jacob shoved him off and crushed him with a brutal strike that dropped Cody instantly. Jacob stood over him, chest heaving, sweat dripping, eyes burning. Jacob said this is what happens when you challenge the bloodline. Suddenly, the crowd erupted again. Roman Reigns' music hit. The arena shook. Roman walked onto the stage slowly, eyes locked on the ring. He didn't rush. He didn't interfere. He watched. Jacob glanced toward Roman for just a second. That second was enough. Cody rolled him up. 1, 2, 3. The bell rang. Shock rippled through the building. Cody Rhodes had done it. Roman's expression didn't change. Jacob sat up slowly, furious, stunned, breathing heavy. Cody rolled out of the ring immediately, barely able to stand, staring up at Roman from the floor. Roman raised the microphone. He said Cody didn't win. He survived. Roman said this isn't finished, not by a long shot. Roman turned and walked away. Jacob stared after him, then back at Cody, rage boiling over. Smackdown faded out on that image. Because Cody Rhodes had proven he could survive the monster. But now, he had the full attention of the tribal chief.